Hi, and welcome to Odyssey of Ascension. Thank you once again for tuning in. It is Wednesday's channeling, and this is Roxanne. Booyah! Thanks all again for joining in this co-creation. Let's have some fun and see where I think Ophiuchus is coming in. I believe so. Stand by. Most certainly. Ophiuchus' bigger brother. In a way. I want you to pay attention to vibration now. Words. Separation. It offers a meaning, does it not? Obligation. It offers another meaning, does it not? Defense. Justification. Rallying. Reckless. Logic. Intelligence. Happy. Sad. All contextual to the language. And what is birthed in the authentic is the self speaking. It diminishes. It has points of view. It has power. It has thrust. It has bullshit wrapped in it. You are the language of definition. You understand those idea containers. They create realities. They give emotional feedback with the stance or position they are, let's say, well versed in. In other words, you giving it the vibration of that. So let's take a word in and of itself. Master. The mastery of ascension. Ascended master. The idea of mastery, we spoke of this in Sylvester's class. Through a master. A deemed master. Who gave him that? Who gave him? Was it self-imposed? A claim that I'm a master? A master of what? See, it leaves the airiness around. It leaves question, debate. If you use the word master in a contextual idea of polarity, where it offers the boundaries within limitations. And within that idea, you play in that field of limitations. Master. I claim I'm a master. Which point of view are you claiming it? Are you claiming it that I am a master and you must agree with me? Are you egoic? Do you have your disciples? Do they shore your own isness up by calling you and reinforcing your mastery? Or was it bestowed upon you from an awareness standpoint and you accept it with ownership but do not clout or pout about it? And if you do, that's okay too, isn't it? Isn't it your world? How do you relate to those definitions? How do you relate to meaning, vibration? What does it mean truly to you is the co-creation and the potential. You come across to the world of reality as a thick, blunt object with the potential of emptiness to become whatever through the signature of your vitality in every word. They're not going to know what you said. They're going to interpret what you said. And how you use it with the authentic self or the variations of your selves of depletion. Your separated selves, your selves that call upon others in worthiness, that calls upon histories for justification of itself, that defends itself in the glory of separation. That is the vitality of the word spoken. Then you will get the meaning of the continuation of current vibration. To go beyond that, the master must look at itself in a vibration of higher than, not in arrogance higher than, but not to stay in the same vibrational context of evolution you were experiencing in Akashika. What you're doing now is realizing the awareness standpoint of meaning given into the word is the relationship to it. Therefore, the authentic self is thwarted because it's always there. Always. By the demeaning self of a higher valued self of separation, historic self, that changes the context of the vibrational salt that you put into the word, into the context of what it is debatable. It becomes a polarized word. Therefore, there is conjecture of argument, stance, debate, sides, ups and downs, rights and wrongs. But if your approach to the word justifies no debate, no polarity, it is your authentic self, then the vibration is the isness of it, and it can be accepted in the beauty of that authentic. And whatever varying degrees anyone accepts it in your co-created reality. It's not up to you how they accept it, because if it is up to you, then you are lacking about that, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what anyone ever thinks, because you can't change their way of thinking. You can give yourself an illusionary self over here that I change your way of thinking, I'm a hero. You're not. You're a person bringing an idea of sustaining your vitality of separation through an agreement of another, because your lack can't stand to be without, and you can't stand to stand alone. Know this. So your language in and of itself is going to start to change meaning. It is how you approach your language and use it with the authentic self. Don't change the words around. Still use the words in the mind of the now. Don't replace the words. No, 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 no. There's an entire new language to be learned with the same words. It's the relationship to those definitions. It's how you contain and then uncontain those words. You use them in certain ways. Reckless to some and reckless to the other. Reckless is exciting to one, and reckless is, let's say, hopeless to another. Oh, they're reckless. They'll never be serious about life. See, that's your now seeing on how you can use your idea, authentic self, to speak the words that are in the co-creation reality. I'm wondering if you've ever realized that wherever you are in any space-time now, and you're always co-creating, by the way, that you don't know the entire conversation already. And it's you to trust the idea of the conversation that's coming through, and to speak those words of wisdom without hesitation, without second guessing. To speak those words of authentic self, and watch how the words don't match the thinking mind in that momentary lapse of the isness of the two yous. Let me explain. You ever have a conversation with somebody, and then all of a sudden you know that they're about to end their point of view, their justification, and you're already formulating in your mind what you're going to say while the conversation is going on, and you're fully aware of all of their words because you're listening, and you're fully aware of where you're going to say or what you're going to say next, because you're in that focus and this focus at the same time. You're listening intently, understanding it, knowing it's coming to an end. How do you know the conversation is ending? Their point of view is about to end. How do you know that? Because you are the co-creator. So you know, and your excitement and your richness and your vitality is alive because you get to argue. You get to give your point of view, and that is life for you. So you know, and you become the isness of the moment, and all of a sudden you have 4, 5, 6 minds all in the same now, and giving the self everything it needs in the now. So you never run out of time. You have it all perfect, and you know. But now you know you can be aware of the self that knows the conversation before the conversation ends, and knows what you're already going to say before you say it. And now the self can realize you have a self that is deploying a filtered ideas, the conversation going in filtered directions, and they're above that conversation. Oh yes, the co-creation conversation that is unfiltered by your ideas, your mind, of what should be said and what could be said, and could be egoic to jab or stab or defend, and their conversation is over here, and you can let this conversation, because you're sitting in a room, and your parents or your friends or your co-creators, co-workers are discussing, and you have words of wisdom, but you dare not speak them, because the mask of reasonality would be challenged by your peers, and their acceptance is not, let's say, their acceptance is still needed, so you won't speak your authentic self in fear of rejection. So you use this conversation of polarity. Some of the words are the same, but it's how you approach the word and use the word from the standpoint of separation, of defense, of egoic structure, or you shift your awareness to the whole of the conversation of all gods in that moment and become the unfiltered channel to the self of expression, and give your mind a break. Sit back and observe and watch yourself speak words, and watch the context and the meaning and the vibration behind a word fill with authentic self of godship, and the room will be still with the pleasures they have just seen, the light that you have just bestowed upon them. And then of course they're going to start thinking and debating, and they're going to go yeah buts and all that stuff, but it doesn't matter, because in that one moment you cut through all the bullshit of reality and the separated ideas of gnip and both sides and distractions, and you threw it all over here and said, hang on for a second, here's the light, and everyone was shined upon. And that's what you get to do. When you start paying attention to the nows and understand how you're being the authentic self and using the choice words that your heart says, speak these, fear nothing, for you are your own universe. And you will start to experience the self that says, fuck it, I am God. You have to be God to understand while embracing the full human of yourself. Don't escape from humanity. Become it in the idea of it. Don't judge the human. Be the human, and the human will speak the vibration of God relating to humanity. And you will know yourself. Words, definitions, context, sentences, phrasings, other languages, English spoken 20, 30, 50, 100, 500 years ago will start to become your reality. The way you can convey your authentic through the idea of not in concordance with the current space-time now of politically correct or the idea of acceptable. Get to the edge and ride that wave. It is a beautiful place to be. This is Ophiuchus. We bid you a good day. Bye now. Yeah, he spoke about that. Spoke about that in today's class about it's exceptional. You can really see, you know, when I'm channeling, guys, I'm over here channeling, and I'm having a conversation with like Ophiuchus or Ophiuchus or whoever's in the room, but sometimes I'm in the channel, listening to the channel, but I have absolutely no say in it, okay? Now don't take that, because that's contextual. Don't say it. I say what I don't say. I can don't say, all that stuff. But I don't have say in it because there's no need to. Because if I had say in it, I would be disrupting it with what I thought should be said. And that's a self that doesn't need to be in that idea. Right? You got to see that. You don't have to say there's certain things that are flowing through you. Because what's flowing through you is the idea of untethered, untamed, unfiltered God. Let that self through, and all of a sudden you start to speak and be in certain ways that you're like, how the hell do I know that? You just become that. You don't need to interrupt yourself. Trust it. Stand aside and watch you become that God you don't know. It's a beautiful God, I guarantee it. Anyways, enjoy, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you Friday. I love you guys. Bye.